Hello everyone and welcome back in this operational amplifier series. In this video series, we will be discussing basic operational amplifier circuit, symbol and pinout diagram, block diagram with description of each block in detail, operational amplifier's specifications and its characteristics. So let us discuss basic circuit diagram of operational amplifier. As shown in this circuit diagram, two power supplies are used for the biasing purpose. The desired forward bias voltage will be applied to the two transistors Q1 and Q2. When the signal source is connected in between this input voltage and ground, there is no change in the operation conditions because the base is already at the ground potential. This is connected to the ground potential. At the output, we can obtain positive as well as negative polarities. This dual power supply provides this plus VCC and minus VCC. Dual power supply provides the stability of operating point against temperature. Here, plus VCC and minus VCC, these are the two power supplies applied to the collector terminal of transistor Q1 and Q2. Input is applied to the base of transistor Q1 as V1 and to the base of transistor Q2 as V2. This is the basic operational amplifier's circuit diagram. In case if a differential amplifier uses only one supply, that is plus VCC, and the negative terminal is connected to the ground potential, then the input is applied to the base terminal of, say, transistor Q1. Now in that case, what will happen? When a single source is connected, the base of transistor Q1, that is input, gets grounded through the signal source, and this changes the operating point of transistor. As Q1 is coupled to Q2 through emitter resistor Re, the operating point of Q2 also gets changed, and therefore the collector voltages of the two transistor changes. Thus, the output of amplifier also changes. Okay, so that can be avoided by using dual power supply. So, with the help of dual power supply, it provides the stability of operating point against temperature. Let's move forward, that is symbol and pinout diagram of operational amplifier. Now in case of symbol of operational amplifier, there are two terminals, that is for non-inverting input terminal and inverting input terminal. These are used for input potential, for input condition. Pin number 2 and pin number 3, these are the two pins with the help of which we can apply input voltage. Pin number 7 is for plus VCC, pin number 4 is for minus VCC, and this is the output voltage that will be collected at pin number 6. So this is the symbol. In case of symbol, you have to show non-inverting input terminal with positive sign, inverting input terminal with negative sign, plus VCC, minus VCC, and output voltage. Now in case of pinout diagram, pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8 pins, pin number 8 is not connected anywhere. Pin number 2 and pin number 3, as mentioned earlier, those are used for input potential, input signal, input voltage. Pin number 6 is for the output voltage. Pin number 7 for plus VCC, pin number 4 for minus VCC. Pin number 1 and pin number 5 are used as offset null condition. Let us discuss the block diagram of operational amplifier. As shown in this block diagram, there are 5 blocks. First differential amplifier, second differential amplifier, emitter follower, DC level shifter, output stage. Now for the first block, constant current source is applied. There are 2 input conditions as earlier mentioned. One is for inverting input and one is for non-inverting input. Output will be collected after this output stage. Now let us discuss in detail function of each block. As shown in the diagram, the differential amplifier is the basic building block of operational amplifier. Operational amplifier has 2 input terminals and 1 output terminal. The first stage in the operational amplifier is a differential amplifier with double-ended output. This amplifier provides with constant current source. This stage provides large and stable gain, high CMRR, high input impedance and large bandwidth. It reduces noise as well. Second stage. The second stage is again differential amplifier. Now why both the stages are of differential amplifier? Because with the help of one amplifier, it is not enough to amplify the gain of the circuit. So in case if it is needed, second differential amplifier with the help of which we can increase the gain. Second differential amplifier is nothing but a second stage of block diagram of operational amplifier. The output of second differential amplifier is taken as single-ended output. That is in between collector of any one transistor, and it is with respect to the ground potential. Due to 2 stages, large gain and CMRR can be obtained. The third stage is nothing but the emitter follower. It has very high input impedance, low output impedance. Then the gain of this amplifier is almost unity. As the gain is almost unity, it acts as buffer between previous and next stage and thus can be used for avoiding overloading. Impedance term is nothing but the internal resistance. The next stage, that is fourth stage. Fourth stage is what? DC level shifter. DC voltage or DC voltage level of the cascaded stages increases due to direct coupling, and finally it may be equal to the power supply voltage. Also, in absence of any input, the output may not be equal to 0. Therefore, this DC level shifter stage is necessary to bring the output to the ground voltage level or 0 voltage level. The second differential amplifier, emitter follower and level shifter, these are called as intermediate stages. Last stage, that is the fifth stage, is nothing but the output stage. This is mostly push-pull power amplifier. Its output impedance is low and it provides sufficient current to the load without distortion. It helps to supply larger output voltage without distortion. So in this way, there are main 3 things, that is first stage, second stage or intermediate, which consist of again 3 different blocks, that is second differential amplifier, emitter follower and DC level shifter, and the last one, that is output stage. For the first block, first differential amplifier, constant current source will be provided with the help of constant current source. Specifications of op-amp: input bias current, that is 80 nanoampere, offset voltage plus minus 2 millivolt, slew rate 0.5 volts per microsecond, CMRR 80 dB, input impedance 2 mega ohm, output impedance 75 ohm, response time is 0, bandwidth infinite, unity gain frequency is 1 megahertz, and supply voltage plus minus 15 volt. These are the specific things. So, specifications of op-amp. Let us move forward to the characteristics of op-amp. Input bias current. Ideally, operational amplifier draws no current from applied input signal, but practically it absorbs small current. The amount is very small, that is used to bias the transistors in the first differential amplifier. So input bias current is nothing but it is defined as the average of biasing currents of inverting and non-inverting input terminals. IB plus, that is the current to the non-inverting input terminal, IB minus, that is the current to the inverting input terminal. Next one, input offset current, IIO. It is the difference between two biasing currents, IB plus minus IB minus. Input offset voltage. This is nothing but a difference in base to emitter values which must be applied to particular input terminal to obtain zero output voltage. This is also called as offset compensation. Common mode rejection ratio. This is one of the most important characteristic of operational amplifier. CMRR. It is the ratio of differential voltage gain to the common mode voltage gain. CMRR is equal to AD or ADM divided by ACM. CMRR in decibels also we can find out. In decibel it is 20 log of CMRR. Moving ahead to the next one, slew rate. Again one of the most important characteristic. Slew rate. It is nothing but a maximum rate at which the output voltage can change. So slew rate equal to derivative of output voltage. Slew rate is ideally it is 0.5 volts per microsecond. We get slew rate with a sinusoidal wave. Okay, so as long as the slope of the sine wave is less than or equal to slew rate, there is no slew rate limiting. But when the slope is greater than slew rate, the output looks like triangular wave. More than this, the triangular waveform is obtained at higher frequencies. Open loop gain. When the loop is open, that is without a feedback, then that gain is called as open loop gain, and it is very high, 1 lakh. When the loop is closed, that is whenever the resistor is connected in between pin number 6 and any of the input terminal, then the loop is said to be closed. Then the gain found is known as closed loop gain, and it is less compared to the open loop gain. It is in terms of 1000. Next one is bandwidth. The frequency range from lower cutoff frequency to upper cutoff frequency is known as a bandwidth. Now the frequency response curve. Now as shown in this diagram, there are two loops, that is one is open loop gain and another one is a closed loop gain. Whenever the loop is open, the gain is very high. Whenever the loop is closed, the gain is low. So this shows how voltage gain varies. This is the voltage gain varies with respect to frequency. So as shown in this diagram, at low frequencies, the open loop gain, that is without feedback, open loop gain without feedback is very high. So in the mid band, that is AOL, is around 1 lakh. At point A, at this point A, the open loop gain is around 70.7% of the maximum gain, that is 70,000. The frequency for open loop gain is 10 Hz. There is no lower cutoff frequency for op-amp because the stages are directly coupled. So keep this in mind. Changing the frequency or gain by factor 10 is expressed by a term per decade. The voltage gain decreases. The voltage gain decreases by 20 dB per decade. This is caused by compensating capacitor on IC chip. When the loop is closed, that means when the resistor is connected, the loop is said to be closed. Okay. So in this case, then the voltage gain decreases 70.7% at 1 kHz frequency. This is upper cutoff frequency for closed loop gain. That is point B. Now beyond this frequency, the closed loop response superimposes with open loop frequency. The bandwidth increases with mid-band as gain decreases. The frequency at which the voltage gain falls to unity is called as unity gain frequency, and the product, that is ACL into FCL is equal to AOL into FOL, is called as gain bandwidth product. For IC 741, this product is 1 megahertz, that is at which the unity gain frequency is observed. The bandwidth is equal to the upper cutoff frequency. So this is all about characteristics of operational amplifier. Thank you.